Back to Denver, Colorado, and a portion of the skyline here. 75,000 fans looking on at Mile High Stadium, awaiting the start of the second half of what's been a very exciting football game. Statistics. There are two big differences here, and we'll point them out to you. Yards rushing, second column. Look at Detroit's big edge, John.
Who would have believed that Detroit would rush for 158 yards against the #1 defense overall in the NFL? Of course, Billy Sims is the man. He has 123 of those yards, Frank.
And in the passing department, look at the edge that the Denver Broncos have over Detroit in the first half.
231 yards. Of course, Morton hit a couple of big plays to Steve Watson, including that 95-yard touchdown to start the scoring.
Turnovers are even at one apiece, and we're looking forward to an exciting second half, and happy that you could be with us. Craig Morton warming up on the sidelines right now. Morton wound up the first half with 9 out of 13. For a whopping 231 yards. He was sacked a couple of times. Of course, his long throw was the 95-yarder to Watson, the third longest pass completion in Denver Bronco history. And the interception was a very costly one in the last 7 seconds of the half, as Alvin Hall picked off the sideline throw and raced back 55 yards for the touchdown that put the Lions in the lead in intermission. Across the way, Detroit fortifying itself for the second half. Number 20 there, Billy Sims. And there are the figures on Sims.
And Billy Sims, that brilliant 49-yard touchdown run to put the Lions back in the game after they did fall behind 10-zip. He made it 10-7. And of course, he got another touchdown, a 1-yard plunge to make it 14-10.
Wade Manning is deep. Murray ready to kick off with the wind here in the second half of play. High kick. And coming down on the far side to Mike Harden, and Harden gets it back to about the 15, and that's it. Well, you have to wonder a little bit, John, now about the if there's a shift in momentum. It looked like the Broncos had it all going for them up to the interception near the half, and how this will affect the game.
Of course, Alvin Hall changed the momentum with one play, that 55-yard return with 7 seconds left in the half. But Denver, Frank, I mean, I saw them in practice yesterday. They are so loose and confident. They're just believing themselves as we listen to the penalty right now.
Here's Bob McElwee will tell us about it, the referee. I think he's trying to get the number.
Offside, number 31, kicking team, re-kick with a 5-yard penalty.
Ken Calicut, the running back for the Lions, was offside, so they'll do it again. Move it back to the 30-yard line.
And those fellow members of that kickoff team will have something to say to Ken Calicut. I mean, it's hard enough running down those suicide squads without having to do it 2 times in a row in the high altitude to begin the second half.
Wade Manning waiting. Detroit with the bulk of the penalty yardage so far. 4 times for 55 to Denver's 3 for 20. This one could go either way, and both teams need it. Word from the bench is that Paul Howard, who was a little shaky at the start with a contusion in his calf but did start the game, will not play in the second half. So Denver will have to adjust. Manning 7 yards deep in the end zone. Now that is a pretty good kick. That's what, 75, 77 yards in the air. Huh? He's got a leg from the 30-yard line.
Kickoff team should take Murray out to dinner. It makes their job so much easier. Of course, he's been a great plus for the Lions, a great year in 1980, performing very well this season.
1st and 10 for the Broncos at their 20-yard line. That crowd quieted down appreciably after Hall ran the interception back. Whether they'll get to the Super Bowl remains to be seen, but spirit is high here in Denver. Moses in motion on the first play of the second half. Reed trying to get outside, and he couldn't do it. Big rush that time by William Gay, number 79, who once upon a time was a tight end for the Denver Broncos.
Certainly has made the transition well. I mean, they've had some problems in that defensive line. Joe Ehrman got hurt early. Curly Culp came in. He's been hurt. They've gotten Steve Furness to help back up. But William Gay gets the penetration right here brings the ball carrier down. Good way to start the second half for the Lions.
A loss of 11 yards on the first play from scrimmage, and it's 2nd and 21 for the Broncos, who are backed up to their 9. Gay all over Reed. Rob Lytle, 15-20. Out beyond the 25 to the 27. Still short of the first down, but it sets up a 3rd down and short yardage. Lytle, the former Michigan star, who was not used at all from scrimmage in the first half, only on specialty teams.
And he hasn't been used much all year long. This is a good call by Morton. Lytle makes a nice cut outside. Up until this point, he'd only carried the ball 4 times for 9 yards. A big gain for Rob Lytle.
In addition to Lytle, Mike Harden, who you saw run the kickback a moment ago, also a Michigan product on the Denver roster. On 3rd and 3, flag down. Morton's pass over the middle, intended for Watson, almost picked off by the Lions' Wayne Smith. Penalty is against the Denver Broncos. So the option being discussed with Stan White, defensive captain of the Lions. Morton
Holding number 73, offense, declined, 4th down.
against Kelvin Clark, the big tackle from Nebraska. Declined by the Lions because it sets up a punting situation. Luke Prestridge. It's pretty good average if he can hold that. Robbie Martin. Deep for the Lions. High Sailor. Martin circling around at his 27, 30. Flag down, 35, 40, 50. But they'll bring it back. There was a clip back at the 25-yard line. That will negate that fine run back. Looked to be Hector Gray, number 26, as one of the Bronco specialty unit members was shaken up. Haven't spotted his number yet. So the Lions will be saddled with poor field position on their first offensive possession.
Correction, blocking above the waist from behind.
Let's see if we can catch out who does it.
That's Gray,
like
number 28, right there.
Illegally blocking from behind above the waist. Number 26 on the return team. First down.
1st and 10 for the Lions at their 20-yard line.
Interesting beginning for the Lions. They hold Denver, take that momentum back. Let's see what Conlo can do now. And Billy Sims, important series for Detroit.
Larry Canada was the injured Bronco player, but he appears to be all right. Here's Sims starting off the second half. Out to the 26-yard line for a pickup of 6. Randy Gradishar made the stop for the Denver Broncos.
It's interesting the comment Billy Sims made a few weeks ago. He said, if I'm healthy, it's simple. I'm going to do well. It's a proven fact.
Figure Sims would be in mourning today after what happened to Oklahoma against Texas yesterday. Not letting it bother his play, however, as you can see from those figures. 2nd down, 3. Again, Sims got the first down and 4 to spare as he moves it out to the 34-yard line. You know he's coming, but you still can't stop him.
And you know, one of the concerns, I think last year Detroit started out like a house of fire, and Billy Sims was having a great rookie season. He kind of wore down. Now, I talked to Monty Clark about that a couple of weeks ago, and I said, Monty, what about Sims wearing down? He said, you know what? Sims is a different player this year. He understands the tempo and the length of the season, and I don't think you'll see him wear down. That's
a very common mistake for a first-year player. Your college season, 9-10 games. You're used to that. Now, all of a sudden, you're playing double the number of games, counting preseason. 1st and 10. Lions at their 34. Comlo with a good fake. Back to throw. Being pressured. Gets it away. And it's incomplete. At the 39-yard line. Bill Thompson came across trying for the interception. Couldn't get it. Comlo's protection been outstanding thus far. He hasn't been sacked.
And what he didn't see was Freddie Scott breaking behind the receiver. He tried to throw it wide open. Leonard Thompson cleaned it off. Here's a score. Montreal leading Philadelphia 3-zip. Philadelphia, of course, trying to come back from 2 down. They tied it 2-2. Houston, Los Angeles, zip and zip in the 6th.
That's also a deciding game. Realize if Montreal keeps on, they may play the World Series in 3 feet of snow at the end of this month. 2nd and 10. Lions at their 34-yard line, leading 21-17 early in the 3rd period. Kamlo overthrown, and Louis Wright had an interception and let it get away. All-pro cornerback Louis Wright happens to the best of them. I think the intended receiver, who I believe was Freddie Scott, may have distracted him, got right in front of him as he went high for it.
Exactly right, Frank. You're looking at the receiver, you're wondering whether he's going to catch the ball, and you're really not concentrating, and that's what happened to Louis Wright right here. The receiver goes up, distracts him, and of course all those defensive backs have board hands anyhow. We know that.
You ever drop one like that?
Oh, never in my career.
You amaze me, a Harvard guy playing in the National Football. That's going to be one of the great oddities anyway.
Strange fellow I am.
3rd down, 10. Kamlo delivers and picks up the 1st down. Hung right in there and hit Freddie Scott at the 45-yard line. Scott couldn't have been more than a foot past the 1st down marker.
And you know what impresses me about Kamlo here? Last week he was jittery. This time he stays right in with some pressure around him. Completes a 1st down pass to Freddie Scott. Big play for Detroit.
And
Keeps
again,
the drive going.
Quiets the crowd down a little bit. Look at the pattern here run by Scott.
Freddie Scott runs beautiful patterns. Here he gets inside. The cornerback breaks it in, and the ball is delivered pretty well by Kamlo. 1st down, Scott.
Lions from their 45-yard line. This is their first possession of the 2nd half. And look at that blitz. Swenson, number 51, came crashing through. And Kamlo is sacked for the 1st time, back on his 35.
And that's something that's difficult for a young quarterback, to realize that the blitz is coming. You don't have any time right now. Swenson gets a running start. Kamlo has no chance to get rid of the ball. He wanted to throw a quick screen. I think he was trying to get it off to Billy Sims in the flat. Sims wasn't looking quickly enough. Swenson all over him for the sack.
Of course, if you don't get the pressure from your regular rush, you got to do things like blitz every once in a while.
And that's a credit to that offensive line, which is a good one. Look at the sacks here. Detroit 2, Denver 1.
2nd down. Flag down as Kamlo goes for it all, trying to reach Leonard Thompson down at the 20-yard line. On a 2nd and 19 play, there are 2 flags thrown. Motion against Detroit. Cloud just blocked out the sun, and I swear the temperature dropped 15 degrees.
Motion on the offensive line. The penalties decline. 3rd down.
Interesting, though, Frank, that Kamlo is opening up the offense as you look at Monty Clark along the sidelines. Kamlo threw on 1st down. He tried to go deep to Leonard Thompson. Even though it was incomplete, it loosens up that Denver defense.
There's Dan Reeves. The guy who calls the play for the Lions is next to Monty Clark on the sidelines. That's Bob Schnelker, their offensive coordinator. 3rd down, 19 from the 36. Kamlo trying to set up the screen. Bussey dropped it. He wouldn't have made much.
Larry Evans, number 56, read it pretty well and was charging. So I don't think he would have made much, though. You'd like to see a back make that play and maybe make a great run to get you the 1st down.
All right. Takes all kinds, doesn't it? Skladany back to do the punting. And a pretty good afternoon so far. I would think if you're a punter, you'd want to play in Denver.
Skladany 2 for 2. I saw him throw a beautiful pass for a 1st down against San Diego about 3 weeks back. He has that ability to complete it, though I don't think he'd do it in this situation.
10 men up on the line of scrimmage for the Broncos, but 2 of them are doubling the outside receiver, who is Thompson, trying to get downfield. Great kick. A superb kick on the fly in the end zone. Now, he was standing on about his 25. So that punt traveled 75 yards in the air. He will get 64 yards official. Timeout. We'll be back in Denver in a moment.
Out of the past into 1,000 tomorrows comes a car made of the right stuff. The 1982 Toyota Celica, aerodynamically conceived to be efficient, not just different. Its new wedge shape with retractable headlights cheats the wind for a performance not even reached in many sports cars. The 1980.
Take a look at what happens in the trenches on the specialty teams.
If you don't think that special teams players don't make their money, look at Calicut. Accepts the blow there from Ryan, but still gets down, hustles downfield to get involved in the play.
Broncos have the football following the touchback and the 64-yard punt by Skladany. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. They must have helium in that ball.
Well, Jim Turner had played with the Jets, and his career looked like it was over with those short kicks. Came here to Denver and was reborn, just like Craig Morton. Must have something to do with the air, Frank.
Maybe that's what it is. Handoff goes to Paris. Tony Paris out to the 25, 26-yard line. Paris saw no action at all for the Broncos last year, but Reeves is high on him. He's 5'11", 200 from Utah State. You see the shuttle in operation. Lytle comes out, and Reed comes in with the next play from Reeves.
And if there's a weakness in the Denver offense, it's the lack of an explosive running back a la Otis Armstrong and Floyd Little. They just don't have that.
2nd down, 3. Watson back and forth. That's his 5th reception of the day for short yardage out to the 30-yard line. Should be right at the 1st down marker. And he is dragged down by Luther Bradley, number 27. Bradley, All-American at Notre Dame. Let's see, we get a flag here? Apparently so. Now Monty Clark is out over at the far sideline, and he wants to know what's going on. Asks one of the officials to come over and explain it to him. 5-yard walk-off.
Encroachment, defense, 1st down.
Looks like Gay maybe got a bit of a jump there, number 79. 5 yards against the lines, moves it out to the 31-yard line. That, of course, is a 1st down. I think they would have had the 1st down anyway. San Francisco continues to pour it on to Dallas, and we'll bring you an update of that game very shortly. Big surprise. Paris running hard out to the 39-yard line.
Of course, Paris was a big factor last week. He had a 20-yard touchdown blast up the middle to put Denver ahead of Oakland 17-zip. As you look at San Francisco, Frank, my goodness, 31-7 over Dallas in the 3rd quarter. Montana must be having a day.
Well, he just threw another touchdown pass. 9 minutes left in the 3rd period of that game. 8.5 minutes left in the 3rd period of our game, with the Lions leading the Broncos 21-17. 2nd and 2. Broncos at their 39. You got a good thing going. You continue to go with him. Paris close for the 1st down. Rick Paris is from Utah State. And as we mentioned earlier, for those of you who joined us late, showed up well in preseason last year, then got hurt and spent the entire year on injured reserve. Morton looking to the sidelines. You know, Morton and Reeves have an unusual relationship. You seldom hear a player call his coach by other than coach, but they go on a first-name basis.
And you can feel the communication. It's nonverbal. They care about one another. And what surprised me as you look at the 1st down, Denver got the 1st down. What surprised me was Craig Morton yesterday telling me that this is the happiest he's ever been playing football, that he cares more about the teammates he has here in Denver than any other team he's played for. There's a real feeling of family here in Denver. That's why I think Denver's going to come back in this football game. They play together.
1st and 10, Broncos at their 42, and Morton goes upstairs. Sideline throw to Watson. 6 catches for Watson. That's a late hit. And a flag goes down. That's one place you wouldn't normally want to put a late hit on somebody, is in front of the opponent's bench. And penalty yardage will be tacked on to the end of that game. Bubba Baker in the middle of the discussion there, so is Stan White. Personal foul against Detroit. "15 yards. Moves it down to the 34. First down. Broncos.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness, number 44. Tacked on to the end of the run. First down.
Wayne Smith, guilty.
Well, Frank, you know that there's no love lost between defensive backs and wide receivers, but this is an unwise penalty, a wasted penalty by Smith. I mean, defensive backs look at wide receivers as overpaid prima donnas who are trying to take the food off their table.
Rob Lytle gets maybe a yard.
But there, Wayne Smith, an unnecessary, costly penalty for Detroit as you look at Rob Lytle heading back to the penalty. Let's take a look at it again.
He really just tried to bulldog him. He already had him out of bounds and really threw him down.
It's that getting his attention. Hey, Watson, what are you doing? Don't do this again. He spins him around. Now, here's where the penalty. That arm comes up around his neck, and he tries to rip it off. It's like a Bronco throw.
2nd and 9. Denver from the Detroit 33-yard line. Lytle, Harris are the setbacks. Take to Lytle. Morton on a bootleg. All kinds of time. Dropped by Riley Odoms. And we got another flag. Back at the line of scrimmage. William Gay, number 79, had just about caught up to Morton.
Illegal pass against the offense. Ball thrown beyond the line.
The line of scrimmage was the 33-yard line. Now look at it again.
Watch Gay, big number 79 in pursuit, but Morton gets some help after the play action pass fake. He bootlegs, and Billy Bryant, number 64, comes back to pick off Gay, who was in hot pursuit. Morton running towards the line, waiting and waiting over the line of scrimmage right there, looking for Riley Odoms.
No question, he was down to the 31 when he threw the ball.
Illegal pass. Quarterback threw the football beyond the line of scrimmage. 5 yards from the spot of the pass, and they lose the down.
That's the big penalty, not the 5 yards as much as the loss of down. That'll set up a third down now and 12. San Diego and Minnesota in a tight one in the third period. And Houston with a big victory over Seattle. 3rd and 12. Broncos at the line, 35. Morton from the shotgun. Looking for the first down. And this time hits Riley Odoms down to the 14-yard line. The big guy who had dropped the last one on the sidelines on the penalty hangs on, and the Broncos are in business at the line, 14.
You knew sooner or later that Craig Morton was going to go to Riley Odoms. It's an easy throw for a quarterback. Doesn't have to throw it as far down the middle. Certainly Riley Odoms is playing good ball for Denver. Here the big man makes the catch. First down.
Bubba Baker with a big rush on Morton did his best to penetrate. Here's Big Bubba on that last play.
And watch Big Bubba coming on the outside. No, he tries to go inside and fool Clark. Clark plays it well, keeps Bubba off Morton. Kind of like Godzilla versus King Kong in the pit.
Studdard was injured for the Broncos and forced to leave the game on that last play, one of their offensive linemen. First down from the 14. Moses in motion. The handoff to Paris. Got a yard. And then it closed in on him rather quickly. Luther Bradley with a good defensive play for the Detroit Lions. Pickup of 1. It'll be 2nd and 9. Take on the NFC co-division leading Vikings. St. Louis at Atlanta or Tampa Bay at Oakland. 2nd and 9. Denver trying to come back. They trail by 4. On the delay, Paris to the 10. Inside the 10 to the 8. It'll be third down. They still need a strong 5 for the first down. 5 minutes, 15 seconds left in the third period. No score here in the second half. Lions 21, Broncos 17.
Doug English is aroused over there on defense. We talked about that combination of Baker and English. I mean, those are the guys that are doing it for Detroit today. English, of course, back after a year of sabbatical in the oil business and excited about the Lions. Morton's got to throw the ball right here. He's not the kind of guy to settle for a field goal.
From the shotgun, they go at the inside handoff. Tony Reed is down to the 6-yard line and did not pick up the first down. They needed to reach the 4. It'll be fourth down, still needing 2. A little bit of a surprising call.
I guess that's why Jimmy Allen is limping a little bit. He looks to be all right. An interesting call down there. Certainly Morton is a quarterback that reads defenses very well. Here he decides to just hand it off, inside handoff to Tony Reed, hoping Reed can break it. A good pursuit by the Lion defense. That's number 40. Allen, excellent tackle. Watch the low angle here. Watch Jimmy Allen come out of the secondary at full speed, takes down Tony Reed. You don't see it as we watch the field goal.
Steinfurt, 25-yarder is good. That's his third. So whatever has ailed him has apparently been cured this afternoon. He was 3 out of 10 on the year coming in, but he is 3 for 3 this afternoon, all inside the 30. 21-20. Back in a moment.
When I found out how affordable Michelin radios were, I thought they were putting me on. Well, as it turns out, I'm putting them on.
I came in here expecting only to have enough for my second choice, but he put me on to Michelin for about the same price.
If anyone tells you Michelin quality is too expensive, they're putting you on. Price Michelins. Only our standards are high.
I found out Michelin prices are really competitive. So that's what I'm putting on.
Michelin. We put America on radios.
I'm Joe Duncan, State Farm agent, Cincinnati, Ohio.
I don't know who dressed Fred Steinfurt this morning. Maybe he dressed in the dark.
That's superstition. That's his shoe that he had so much success with last year. He's back to it today. Of course, he's been having his problem. So far, the shoe has brought him luck.
He's got another pair just like that at home. One white and one black.
Kickers have always been a strange lot. Look at that kick. Woo.
From this angle, it looked like it went through the goalpost, but they don't give you 3 for that.
That shoe's about ready to fall apart, too. You should see the inner sole. Freddie Steinfurt back in the groove.
Freddie is back. I guess Steinfurt can play 100 years. He will still be remembered as the man who replaced George Blanda at Oakland.
Anytime you replace a legend, that'll be what you're remembered for.
He's made a few stops since then. Found a home here in Denver, where he had a sensational year last year. Morton and Reeves in conference on the sidelines. Lions lead, trimmed to 1. First and 10, Detroit from the 20-yard line. This is only Detroit's second offensive possession of the second half. Sims dives to the 26-yard line. He was down at about the 23 and got that last 3 yards on pure Sims effort.
That move outside, the good back sack, he ducks inside, then shows great speed to get around number 51, Bob Swenson, and then watch this. Leans forward, puts his head down for that extra yardage. What a great back.
Sims can catch the ball pretty well, too. You may have noted in his college career at Oklahoma, in 4 years, he caught 3 passes.
But yet this year he's caught 13 so far for 158 yards. It's a new dimension for the Detroit Lion offense. Sims out of the backfield. They haven't used it today, but it's certainly there if they need it.
Dexter Bussey picking up the first down for the Lions at the 31-yard line. So the Lions trying to get something go offensively now. 2 minutes, 53 seconds left in the third period. Bill Thompson, number 36, celebrated his 35th birthday yesterday. We wish him happy birthday.
You sure Denver isn't an old folks home? Morton, Thompson, these guys seem to go on forever.
Thompson's been with the Broncos 13 years, longer than any other Denver player. Sims almost tripped up at the line of scrimmage and didn't get much. He moved it out to the 34, pickup of 2 in the play. It'll be second down 8. Randy Gradishar in the stop.
It's interesting. This defense is pretty much, Frank, as we've talked about, has the same personnel they've had for the last few years as you look at Reeves along the sideline. But it seems the difference is your friend Joe Collier. Stability and health have made this defense the tops in the National Football League.
Joe Collier is the defensive coordinator. In fact, a classmate of mine at Northwestern 25 years ago. This gives a little bit away, doesn't it?
You have that reunion coming up.
That's right. Next week, as a matter of fact. 25th reunion. I think we're both going to miss it. Bessie is out to the 36. Third down. Lions still looking at 4 for the first down as Comlo gets the play from Leonard Thompson, who brings it in from the sidelines. Montreal, Philadelphia are now in the 8th inning. Montreal 1 inning away from moving on to the championship series in the National League. And the Dodgers showing signs of coming back all the way after being down 2 games to none. Third down. 4 needed for the first down. Bussey driving hard and will be close. Dexter Bussey, I didn't think he'd get anything. He was stopped at the line of scrimmage and on sheer determination picked up close to 4 yards, which is what they needed for the first down. Close enough for measurement.
Excuse me, Frank. They're trying to catch that defense off guard. Trap with Bussey up the middle as you look along. Collier, defensive coordinator for Denver, along the sideline. They hope to catch Denver in a defense where they could snap Bussey up the middle, quickly get the first down. But it's very close. Let's see. Let's see the measurement.
Couldn't be much closer.
Oh,
look at that. How about an inch?
How about the hair on my chinny chin chin? Oh my goodness. And Bussey did that all on his own. What do you do now?
Well, 4th down, you're still in your own territory. You got a 1-point lead, you got to kick it. And that's what the Lions are going to do.
But you have lived and died with your running game. You have Billy Sims in the backfield. You have Bussey, a good blocker. You have Keith Dorney, an excellent, tough decision by Monty Clark.
But if you don't make it, you give it to the Broncos in great shape to go ahead.
But I think this tells you something about Detroit. They're here to win this game. They know they can't keep giving the ball back to Denver. I like the call.
They're going to go for it. Sims lost the ball, I believe. I think there was a fumble. Tough job for the officials here to peel it off. Who got it?
If there's no fumble, he made it. It looks like it. Let's see who comes up with the ball.
Nothing but arms and legs.
Oh, what a critical moment.
They're still piling unpeeling bodies.
Baldischweiler, number 76, is down to the offensive tackle for the Lions. Let's see who.
Tell you, the Denver offensive unit has come on the field, so they think that they're going to take over. Lions are pointing the other way. Tough call for Bob McElwee, the referee. Let's see what happened. Ball game could be riding on this call.
We have a 1-point difference. Detroit needs to keep the ball and go in and score. Of course, Denver wants it in their territory. You hear it from the fans. Let's see.
If Denver gets it, you'll hear it from the fans. Yes, I believe the Broncos get it.
You have a fumble on 4th down, recovered by a lineman. The ball can only be recovered by the player who fumbled the ball. Therefore, the ball returns back to where the back fumbled the football.
I'm glad he told us that.
A very, very interesting call. Something you rarely see. Look at Reeves on the sideline, not even excited. Let's get that from Tom Landry. Watch it again. Billy Sims tries to go up over the top. He's met by the orange crush. Coughs up the ball. Oh, look at that defense.
Now the Lions recover the fumble, and normally it would have been a first down because they got far enough for the first down. But only Sims could recover the fumble because it was a 4th down play.
Watch it again here. He goes up. Look at that hit. My terrific hit Was that Gratishar, number 53, came up to make the key hit of the ball game.
First down, Denver Broncos at the Lions' 41-yard line. 33 seconds left in the quarter.
Watch Craig going downtown after that turnover. No dice.
Harris breaks a tackle and takes it inside the 35 to the 33 for 8 yards. Tony Paris. Of course, the rules also state that when you get inside 2 minutes in each half, a fumble on any down can only be recovered by the player who fumbles it. But for the rest of the game, it's only in effect on 4th down.
Paris bounces off. It looks like a pinball. Right here, he bounces off the pack, makes some yardage all on his own.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. The Detroit Lions 21, the Denver Broncos 20.
We're torturing this 1982 American Motors Concorde to make a point about warranties. The American Motors Buyer Protection Plan includes the only full warranty in the industry, covering every part for 12 months or 12,000 miles, even if it just wears out. The limited warranties from all other car makers don't give you that kind of protection. The tough Americans can back their high-mileage Concorde like no other car because Concorde can take it. Now up to $795 rebates on new Concordes direct from American Motors.
The smartest moves Dan Reeves said he ever made was in retaining this man, the baseball cap, Joe Collier, as his defensive coordinator. He said, Joe, you got the defense. And he's run with it again. And, of course, on the other side, that's Floyd Peters, veteran NFL player and the defensive line coach for the Lions, the guy who coaches the Silver Rush and has done an outstanding job.
And his troops are backed up against the wall right now. A lot of people might question that call by Monty Clark. It didn't work, the fumble. Now Detroit's defense has to dig in.
2nd down, 3. Got an official timeout here for some reason. Boy, these fans get pumped up, don't they? They really help this ball club. Opposing quarterback has a tough time barking signals.
Well, they sense they might be witnessing the rebirth of the miracle of '77 when look at them. When Denver went to the Super Bowl. Certainly this team has that kind of potential.
2nd down, 3 with the ball at the 34-yard line of the Lions. Morton again feeding Paris. 1st down, 30, 25, 20. Out of bounds, 16-yard line. That young man can run.
Watch this. Good blocking. Gary Cobb, the linebacker, number 53, gets cut down by Denver right there. That gives Paris time to get outside. The rest he does on his own. Good play by number 44. It's Wayne Smith to finally make the tackle. Watch Paris here again. Good blocking. Tony Reed leading the play, looking inside. Blocking out in front. Paris makes a big gain. 1st down.
1st down at the 15. Paris now has 69 yards rushing and gets the football again from Morton. And this time gets nothing. Stan White, number 52, over there quickly, along with James Hunter, number 28 of the Lions.
James Hunter did the job that a cornerback's supposed to do, the way it's written up in the textbooks. He played off his blocker. He kept leverage to the outside, forced to look at this, 24-24. San Diego, Minnesota tied in the 3rd quarter. James Hunter did an excellent job turning that play into San Francisco. 3rd quarter over Dallas, big.
2nd and 10 from the 15-yard line. Broncos trail by 1. Morton gets the screen away to Paris. He's to the 10, 5. He'll score. Craig Morton's 3rd touchdown pass of the day.
The offensive line, he waits. He gets the offensive line out in front of him, Paris, and watch him block now. Number 64, Bill Bryant. Number 62, look at Glassick out in front. Paris takes it in to put Denver on top. Craig Morton sets this up wonderfully. He's looking downfield, doing a good job of acting. I thought maybe Bubba Baker, number 60, might catch up to Paris. He can't do it. The convoy leads him to the end zone. Denver goes ahead.
26-21. Steinford on to try the extra point. It's good. Less than a minute deep into the final quarter at Denver's Mile High Stadium. The Broncos have recaptured the lead once again. 27-21. Paris accepting congratulations. We'll be back in Denver after this.
Victoria, darling, my heart.
Stop, camera. Wash the suit.
Wash the suit?
It's the Hager washable suit in Visa Fabrics, made a new way to be machine washed and dried.
And action.
Victoria, my...
World's largest open-air insane asylum. my stadium. When the Broncos get it going.
The Sea of Orange. Denver leading 27-21. Detroit touchdown, though, puts them right back ahead, 28-27.
We've got a final score on the Montreal-Philadelphia game in the National League. And the Expos have done it. They have beaten the Philadelphia Phillies and moved on to the National League Championship Series. 3-0. There's the Broncos scoring drive, and keep in mind now that 4th and 1-inch play by the Detroit Lions, which backfired as the Broncos took over the football and then marched for the go-ahead touchdown.
Frank, you have to like the call by Craig Morton on that screen pass with a 15-yard touchdown to Paris. Excellent call down there. Everyone dropping back. That comes with experience.
Wind really picking up here, and Steinford has to have a holder. Again drills it deep. Martin 2 yards deep in the end zone. Out to the 10, 15. Across the 20 to the 23-yard line. And the Lions offense will put it in play from there. Tonight on CBS, all gets underway with 60 Minutes. Archie's Place, then the season premiere of One Day at a Time. Alice, the Jeffersons, and Trapper John M.D. All tonight on CBS. Brand new season here.
Nice hairdo. Is that our director?
Nice hairdo.
Yeah.
Obviously, with the dark glasses, he's going incognito. Of course, the crowd is pumped up again. 1st and 10 from the 23. Sims caught at the line of scrimmage by Rulon Jones. Rulon usually has a little dance that he saves for a sack. But when you stop Billy Sims at the line of scrimmage or behind it, you might as well do it.
And it's interesting what Reeves had to say about Rulon Jones. I mean, he's a quiet guy before he gets to the field, but he changes dramatically. And Reeves asked him last week where the phone booth was that he changes his clothes in. The man is Superman on the field. 7 sacks coming into the game.
No gain in the play. 2nd and 10. Whole lot of stomping going on by the Denver fans. Sims fights his way upfield beyond the 25 to the 27. But the Lions are going to have to put it up. 3rd down. They still need 6 or 7. Take a look at Rulon Jones here on the play a moment ago.
Watch Rulon Jones come in here from the right side. Number 75 breaks through. There he is.
Now the last play, you just saw Sims going around the left side. Got a little bit, but got jammed up.
Look at Rulon Jones again, fighting off the blockers to make the play.
Sims has now reached the 150-yard rushing mark, 20 carries.
What'll they do in this situation if there's a field goal attempt? The goalposts are turned sideways. Got to raise the degree of difficulty for the kickers. Here they go. They're trying to correct it.
Yeah, they're lassoing the goalposts, trying to straighten them out. We've had wind gusts out of the south at about 30 miles per hour, and that coupled with the fact that maybe they weren't set like they were supposed to. Maybe these guys are just going to sit there the rest of the game and hold them.
Advanced technology at work right here. Denver's Mile High Stadium. As you look at the flag, wind gusting up a bit.
I don't think they're going to have time to go up and repair it, so those 2 guys are going to stand there with the ropes and hold the uprights.
Necessity is the mother of invention. San Francisco 45, Dallas 7. Frank, what happened? 4th quarter score.
Don't ask me. On 3rd and 6. Kamlo flushed out of the pocket. Still looking downfield, does not pick up the first down, and loses the football at the 28-yard line. A big rush that time by the Broncos. Barney Chavis, number 79, flushed Kamlo out of the pocket.
Good coverage downfield. Kamlo had some time. He did get the rush. They were playing man-to-man. That's number 77, Greg Boyd. He's looking downfield. He's looking for Freddie Scott. Finally, Gradishar comes over, knocks him out of bounds.
Skladany is on to do the punting. 4th down, still 4 needed for the first down. Wade Manning is deep. Now Skladany is punting against the wind here in the final period of play. I see what difference that makes. His last punt was 64 yards with the wind. Shadows lengthening here at Mile High Stadium. Nice kick. Wade Manning back to the 20. 25, 30. And dropped at the 37. Time is called with 12 minutes and 11 seconds left to play in the football game, and the Broncos leading 27-21. Dan Reeves on the left, Monty Clark on the right. The two opposing head coaches as it gets to be nervous time here at Mile High Stadium. By the way, that punt by Skladany a moment ago covered 52 yards against the wind with 5 kicks. He has averaged 51.8.
It's amazing how far this Denver team has come since that disorganized preseason game against the Jets, the first game. I think part of that has a lot to do with Reeves. He kept 7 assistants, as you mentioned before, Frank, and brought in 3 new ones to make the transition from a very popular coach, Red Miller, to himself a lot easier.
1st and 10, Broncos at their 38-yard line. Preston is in the backfield along with Paris. And Morton gives to Paris, who's had a good day. Out to the 43-yard line for a pickup of 5. You know, talking about the Broncos, they had all kinds of difficulties off-season. Ownership change, contract hassles, a drug investigation. And yet, to this point, not even halfway through the season, they have somehow managed to unite here and get that family-type feeling. I noticed Reeves, before the game, went around to each individual player as they were going through calisthenics, shook his hand, wished him a good game.
And so did Edgar Kaiser, the owner. There's a good feeling here in Denver, and that's going to take him a long way. And that's part of what has helped him to come back against a very game Detroit Lion team.
2nd and 5. Broncos at their 43. Harris across the 45 to the 46. It'll be 3rd down and 2. Doug English off the bottom of that pile.
And Frank, you mentioned controversy. We forget about Matt Robinson here, the quarterback situation, unsettled earlier in the year. Now it's Morton as the quarterback, Mark Herman and Steve DeBerg as capable backups, and certainly Morton is having one of his finest seasons as a pro.
Broncos are going with a double tight end setup. On 3rd and 2, they've taken Moses out and Watson out. Egloff is in there. I don't believe he got it. Needed 2. Looked like he got 1. That'll bring up a 4th down and 1. Big Bubba Baker.
There's our man Bubba Baker again. You know, Steve Furness was a teammate of mine in Pittsburgh, and I talked to him about Baker in English, and he said Baker is as good as the Leroy Selmans, the Mean Joe Greens, and there you see why.
We had a flag down on the play. Apparently against Denver, and will be declined because Denver will have to punt.
Illegal motion, number 65, offense, penalties declined, 4th down.
Martin drops back deep, so does Alvin Hall, who ran the interception back. And Luke Prestridge will be punting. And his average isn't shabby either. Robbie Martin, the rookie from the University of California. San Pablo Obispo. On into the end zone for the touchback. As Prestridge really nailed that one. Timeout with 10.5 minutes to go. here at Mile High Stadium. We'll be back with more of the Denver Bronco-Detroit Lion game after this word from your local station.
Next Saturday. CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Ford Motor Company, where quality is more than priority, quality is job one. Memorex cassette tape. Is it live or is it Memorex? And by Smooth and Mellow Michelob.
Lions ball, 1st and 10 from their 20-yard line following the punt by Skladany, 7th inning score. And the Dodgers on their way to the championship series in the National League, where they will meet Montreal. The Expos beating the Phillies this afternoon. Look at the difference in the yards passing. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Bussey. Nothing. This is where the Orange Crush tries to live up to its reputation as the #1 defense in the National Football League. They need a big defensive performance now. Denver leading by 6, 27-21, after trailing at intermission.
And certainly they have the defense to do it. As you look at number 68, Reuben Carter in the middle. I mean, Carter is just, he's a fire hydrant with cleats on the prototype nose guard for that 3-4 defense. Comlo in a tough situation now. He's going to have to put the ball up in the air.
2nd and 9. They go with the reverse to Mark Nichols. Nichols, 15, 20, 25, 30. First down and out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Well, they were pursuing Sims so much that it was inevitable.
It's a good call, an excellent call, a safe call. Mark Nichols, of course, the big, fast #1 draft choice with that 4.4 speed. And it's interesting that Detroit got the best athlete available and also filled their biggest need. That's something that doesn't happen much as you look at San Diego leading Minnesota 31-24 in the 4th quarter.
I wonder if San Diego's ever been involved in a low-scoring game.
Air Coryell, not their style.
1st and 10. Lions from their 34, fighting valiantly to get back in this ball game. They trail by 6. A lot of time. Sims trying to cut back against the grain and gets it out to the 38-yard line, close to 4 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd and 6 again. Gradishar ever present on the stop.
21st time that Billy Sims has carried in this game. You wonder if he's wearing down a little bit here. He cuts back against the grain, takes a lot of hits, especially from number 53, Randy Gradishar.
Comlo has only put it in the air 14 times, completed 6 for 60 yards. Sims rushing for 154. Second down, 6. Here's Comlo looking over the middle.
No.
And that's dropped by Foley. Had the interception in his hands, the pass intended for Nichols. And Foley read it perfectly.
Frankie held the ball too long. Mark Nichols was open before this. Foley is great at reading a quarterback's eyes. Here Comlo's holding it. He's looking, he's looking, he's looking. Foley is looking right inside his helmet and reacts to the ball here. I'm surprised he didn't hold on for an interception. Steve Foley drops it.
Comlo does back up slowly, doesn't he? He sets up very slowly.
It's one of his problems. His other problem is telegraphing the passes. You look at Steve Foley, 3 interceptions on the year. Certainly made the transition from cornerback to
3rd and 6 and a busted play. Comlo's got no place to go with it. Ryan in there quickly, number 50, Jim Ryan, to pounce on the young Lion quarterback. And again, Detroit will have to punt.
The offensive line has done a good job all day long. This is a broken play. Comlo seemed to go the wrong way. Sims and Bussey were going to the right side. The result is a sack by number 50, Jim Ryan, reserve linebacker, 3rd year out of William and Mary.
That's a costly time for a busted play on 3rd down. Skladany in to do his number again. Wade Manning is deep. Short kick this time. Manning moves up, bounces at the 35, picks it up at the 27, 30, 35, and up to the 37-yard line. And that's the end of the line for Wade Manning of the Denver Broncos. Timeout. 8 minutes, 11 seconds left to play. Back in Denver in just a moment. Both offensive linesmen doing a pretty good job, is illustrated right there.
Only 4 sacks, and of course, English and Baker are strong sack men. Denver's offensive line has done a good job. You know, I talked to, as you look at Baker and English, a dynamic duo on defense, I talked to Morton. He said the biggest difference this year is more mental. I mean, they spend an awful lot of time in the classroom. He says they get in at 9:30 in the morning, and they'll get out around 6 to 6:30. That Reeves demands that kind of mental preparation and concentration.
1st and 10 for the Broncos at their 37-yard line. They lead by 6 with a little more than 8 minutes left. Morton going long for Watson, and Watson is tripped, and a flag goes down. Pass interference against the lines will put the Broncos in great shape at the 25-yard line. Allen can't believe it.
Does that say it all? Right there, Jimmy Allen, a gallant defense here. That was just an accidental bump. James Hunter into Watson, called pass interference. It was a good call. It was just
interference. Defense, number 40. First down.
They called it on Jimmy Allen. I thought it was on number 28, James Hunter. Watch it again. Hunter gets turned around here, comes back inside. Looks like he bumps right there. Looks like he bumps the receiver. He does. The call was a mistaken one. It should have been on number 28, James Hunter.
So a big first down for the Broncos at the line, 27-yard line.
Of course, James Hunter, tragedy this week. His 31-year-old brother died of leukemia. He was away from practice for a couple of days, but tough to concentrate on a game when something like that happens to you.
That's a 36-yard penalty, and the Lions have been penalized 121 yards this afternoon on 8 different occasions. You're talking about pass rushes. Why is it? You know, Bubba Baker is a right end. Jones is a right end. Why is it the premier pass rusher? And Morton's coming out of the game, at least for a moment. He's over on the sidelines talking to Reeves. And Steve DeBerg, who last year was the regular quarterback at San Francisco and was picked up in a trade at the end of preseason, is now in there to guide the Broncos. We'll try to find out what Morton's situation is. That's what he's done so far this year. Preston almost slips as he made his cut. Takes it down to the 22-yard line. Why is it, as I started to say earlier, that the premier pass rusher on a team always seems to be the right end? Harvey Martin, Deacon Jones down through the years.
I think it has to do with the tight end, who is usually put to the right side. It makes it tougher to rush from that left defensive end because you have the tackle. You also have the threat of the tight end blocking down on you. Whereas on the backside, it's usually one-on-one defensive end versus offensive tackle.
You check the stats, and invariably the leading sack man will be the defensive right end. Morton, as you can see, back in the game. 2nd down, 6 from the 23-yard line of the Lions. Morton back to throw. Sideline toss to Haven Moses. Very close for the first down. Looks like he's right on the marker at the 17-yard line. Haven Moses, who had retired in the off-season, and when the coaching change was made, Dan Reeves talked to him and got him to come back at least one more time. First down, Denver.
And Haven told me that the pressure was off him. Now that they have the multiple offense, a lot of weapons. Here, you have to admire Morton. He's not afraid to put the ball up. Simple pattern, a safe throw to Haven Moses. The result, the first down.
Broncos moving at the line, 17. 7 minutes, 17 seconds. They lead 27-21. Harris fumbles the ball. Who got it? Detroit recovers at the 20-yard line, I believe. Yes, a costly fumble because they were in field goal range, and a field goal would have meant that it would have taken more than a touchdown.
Watch it here again. The stutter step one way to draw the defense here. Paris is carrying the ball. He's hit by, that looks like number 27. Luther Bradley knocks the ball out. Gary Cobb, number 53, comes up with the recovery. Let's watch it again. Here, Paris. That's Bradley coming in from his safety position, gets the arm in there, knocks the ball away. Gary Cobb comes up with it, and we have a game, Frank.
Timeout. Back in Denver in just a moment.
Michelob brings you the 7-day weekend. Good eating style. The special of the week for gourmet's delight. Here's how to add a little weekend flavor to any dish. Served with generous portions of Michelob. Because that smooth and mellow taste.
Day, a world premiere movie. Every crook's nightmare. Every woman's fantasy. Kevin Dobson is Mike Hammer in Mickey Spillane's Margin for Murder, Thursday.
There's the situation here in Denver with 7:12 left. Jeff Comlow, the Detroit quarterback, in the second half has completed only one pass in 6 attempts for 11 yards. You think they're going to put it up here?
I think they have some weapons. They have to go to David Hill, the tight end. He's an excellent tight end. He can go deep. Billy Sims out of the backfield is also a way to score.
Lions have got a lot of time, though, here. Sims. And they like to do it on the ground. They have enough time to do it with 7 minutes left to play in the game. And, of course, a touchdown gives them the lead.
But you're looking at a defense that's excellent. It's number 4 in the AFC versus the run. They're excellent. As you look at the New York Giants, what a surprise that is. 34-14 over St. Louis in the fourth quarter. San Francisco on top of Dallas, 45-14. That one also in the fourth quarter.
Our score, 27-21. Denver. Second down, 8. Detroit. Jeff Comlow at the throttle. Bussey trying the right side, gets a good block from Sims, but not enough. He gets out to the 28. He needed to net the 30-yard line. So the Lions are looking at a 3rd and about 2. Dexter Bussey from the University of Texas at Arlington. Barney Chavis, number 79, making the stop. You know, under Rhett Miller, the Broncos last year had a designated pass rush team. They brought in a whole unit to rush the passer. Reeves has gotten away from that this year. One big reason is that Rulon Jones has come on so strong. Third down, less than 2 needed for the first down, about 1.5 yards. And, of course, they go to Sims. Sims with the first down, almost breaks it. Out to the 44-yard line. And had he managed to control his balance at that point, he might have been gone.
Almost an impossible task. I mean, he was just parallel to the ground. Watch number 81 leading the play. David Hill. He may not be catching the ball, but he gets out in front and is blocking well. Can't see him there. Number 39 throws a good block out in front. Sims almost. Oh, tough to keep his balance. First down, though. Watch it again. Sims. Leonard Thompson is out in front. Number 39. Bussey's out in front. Sims bursts up for the first down.
Back to live action. 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line. Sims again. Billy Sims is right at 175 yards rushing this afternoon. And that's a commendable figure against anybody, but particularly against the number 1 rushing defense in the league.
Look at that statistic. 24 carries, 175 yards, including 2 touchdowns. Of course, that 49-yarder in the first half, a big one to get Detroit back in the game. As Sims goes out to rest. He's got to be a tired man.
The 175 yards is now the best mark of Sims' 2-year career. 2nd and 6. Lions at their 48 as Sims gets a breather. Bussey across the 50. And down to the 48. Let's keep a close eye on the clock for you. It's moving with 4 minutes and 15 seconds left to play in the game. Lions are keeping it on the ground. They're moving the ball, but of course the clock is moving as well. They need the touchdown to tie and the extra point to take the lead.
Sims
3rd down and 2.
Excuse me, Frank. Sims is still on the sideline.
There's the time remaining. Crowd noise rising in crescendo here, imploring the Orange Crush defense to hold him on 3rd down. Rick Kane fell down, and Comlow bootlegging for the first down. He's got it. at the 44-yard line. A great play by Jeff Comlow as Rick Kane fell down just as he was about to hand him the football.
Right, watch the low angle. A great play is right. Rick Kane slipped. He just came into the game. Comlow recognized the fact that he'd never be able to get the first down. Tucks it away. Doesn't have great foot speed, but he hoofs it out for the first down. Big play.
He knows where that marker is, and he took a pretty good shot. Actually, it was a helpful shot, as it turned out. They were just trying to break him. 1st and 10, Lions at the 45-yard line of the Denver Broncos. Comlow, nice fake, good protection, wide open. Horace King out of bounds, 34-yard line. 1st down, Detroit.
Good call. 1st down. They're expecting to run. What does he do? A little play action fake right here. Fakes the draw. Finds Horace King all alone in the flat. Obviously, the linebacker went for the fake. King makes a good catch, turns it upfield. He's nice and fresh.
1st down, Lions. They spot it at the Bronco 33. 3 minutes, 29 seconds left.
Linebackers dropping deep. Horace King underneath. 1st down.
Freddie Scott in motion. Sims is back. 30. Down to the 27. And out of bounds. It's another 5 or 6 yards for the Lions. And stops the clock with 3:22 left to play.
Looked like Louis Wright asked him to dance at the end of the play as he hugged him up top.
Billy Sims, who last year set virtually every one-season rushing record for the Detroit Lions, 1,300 yards plus. Don't forget, CBS shows you 60 minutes in its entirety following the game, except in the Rocky Mountain time zone. 2nd and 5. Detroit at the 27-yard line of the Denver Broncos. Sims inside the 25 and close to the 1st down at the 23. Could be close enough for measurement.
As you look at Billy Sims taking a little extra time on the ground. How many times have we seen the great backs do that? Jimmy Brown, O.J. Simpson. A little bit extra time to catch your breath. Watch the play again. Good blocking by the right side of Detroit's offensive line. Keith Dorney, number 70, doing a good job. Russ Bollinger, Amos Elias pulling here and cuts back upfield. Spins around, makes a few yards. Billy Sims.
3rd down and a yard. Rick Kane fighting for the 1st down, and again it'll be close. Looks like he may have it from here. Sims' previous high rushing, 157 yards. That was last year against Minnesota. And this year he's closing in on 200 yards. He's at 184.
Excuse me, Frank, we're going to have a measurement. It's that close. What an inspirational performance by Detroit. I mean, many people thought they might have quit last week against Tampa Bay. They lost that 28-10. As Billy Sims looked like a battered warrior along the sidelines.
1st down.
1st down. Yep.
Lions have a 1st down at the 23 of the Broncos. 2:29 left to play in the game.
A field goal won't do it. They need that touchdown. They're trailing down by 6 points.
Nichols to the left side. Scott to the right. Sims is not in the game right now. They've got Kane and King in the backfield behind Comlow. King drives inside the 20 to the 18. Again, as John mentioned, field goal will not help the Lions. They have to have the touchdown here. And here we go to the 2-minute warning as Billy Sims comes back in the game. Got a 1-play break. 2-minute warning to both benches. Again, don't forget that CBS will show 60 minutes in its entirety following the game, except on the West Coast. Comlow over to talk to not only Monty Clark, but the man with the glasses there, Bob Schnelker, who is the longtime offensive coordinator for the Lions. Last year, he called the plays from upstairs, and now he calls them down on the ground. Timeout here in Denver. Broncos 27, Lions 21. Mile High Stadium bathed in the shadows now of a Rocky Mountain sunset on a beautiful afternoon for football. And Dan Reeves has come down to nail chewing time for sure. In the final 2 minutes of this game, as his #1 ranked defense tries to hold off the Lions. There's the Lions coaching staff. Keep in mind that this drive started back on the 20-yard line. It would be an 80-yard touchdown drive, and I don't think he's thrown a pass, has he, in this drive?
Yes, he completed a third down pass to Rick Kane out of the backfield.
That's right. Second down. 6. Lions at the 18-yard line. Sims inside the 15 to the 14. They have to net, well, just inside the 13. He's looking at about 1.5 yards with third down coming up.
Somehow, Frank, the great ones have the ability to reach down deep in that reservoir of energy that they have. That's what Billy Sims is doing right now for the Detroit Lions.
Again next Sunday, Philadelphia at Minnesota, St. Louis at Atlanta, Tampa Bay at Oakland. You'll be watching one of those games. Third down. Let's call it a short 2 needed for the first down from the 15. Dexter Bussey. I don't believe he got the first. It'll be 4th and 1. And not much question if the Lions go for it from here. Clock continues to move. It's rolling down to 1 minute. Exactly 1 minute left to play in the game. Lions letting it roll. You think they should be calling time here?
I think they should call a timeout, regroup for this 4th down all-important play, because if they do make it, they're going to be rushed to try and get the ball in the end zone. We're not talking field goal, remember. We're talking touchdown. As the Giants beat St. Louis 34-14.
75,000 fans on their feet imploring the Denver defense to hold him. Here's Sims on 4th and 1. He is stopped behind the line. And the Broncos take over. Tom Jackson, 57, and Aaron Kyle, number 22, on the stop.
There's such a thing as going to the well one time too often, and that's what they did right here. Aaron Kyle makes a great play on 4th down to stop the Lion drive.
28 seconds left to play in the game. Back in 1 minute.
Hi, Hal. Hi, Mr. Van Patten. You know...
You don't think they're happy here in Denver right now? 28 seconds separating the Broncos from their 5th victory in 6 games. I have to believe 11 Broncos were looking for Billy Sims on that last play.
No doubt about it. Sims never got a chance to get turned upfield. The defensive line from Denver got a good rush. Sims tried to take it outside. Aaron Kyle was there. And Dan Reeves has to be breathing a little more comfortably at the moment.
Of course, the Lions have all 3 of their timeouts left. They haven't used any yet, so they can stop it 3 times. Preston fights his way out to the 28-yard line. That's a 7-yard pickup. Timeout, Detroit. Timeout called by the Lions. 21 seconds left to play in the game, and the Broncos sitting on a 6-point advantage. Alcoa. Welcome back to Denver, where they feel they've got this one in the W column.
You don't think there'll be some partying in Denver tonight? They love their Broncos.
Second down. Broncos need 3 for the first down. They're at their own 24-yard line. Detroit with 2 timeouts left and 21 seconds left in the game. Takes it out to the 26-yard line, very close for a first down. You know, another thing I would question, I think we're doing a lot of second guessing, but what the heck? Why even bother with a handoff?
That is Detroit's second timeout.
Executive producer of NFL football on CBS is Terry O'Neill. our senior producer, Charles H. Milton III. Our producer in Denver today, Ed Gorin. And our director, Andy Kindle. We've seen an exciting football game, as I think you'll agree. Some of the other folks who made this possible. That was a great shot of Sims just a moment ago. Absolutely beaten after a tremendous afternoon. 185 yards, rushing a career high against the #1 rush defense in the National Football League.
A valiant effort. Craig Morton, a reasonable afternoon. Did what he had to do to win. A couple of touchdown passes to Steve Watson.
Third down. Broncos need one for the first down. As I started to say, I wouldn't even fool with a handoff here. Remember what happened in the Giants-Eagles game several years ago?
Who can forget that?
I'm surprised Morton doesn't just sit down with it. Preston has the first down at the 32-yard line. And for all intents and purposes, that's the ball game. Lions are not even going to bother to use that timeout. Time has run out. And the Denver Broncos are 5-1 and no worse than tied for the top spot in the AFC Western Division. And the Lions lose a heartbreaker after a great drive which started on their own 20-yard line and reached the Bronco 15. And they were thwarted on a 4th and 1.
And it's interesting that Denver now 5-1 as you look at Monty Clark, top of the AFC West, and San Diego is just hanging on over the Vikings. That score 31-30, Frank.
Broncos 27, Lions 21. Let's go now to the San Diego, Minnesota game. And here's Gary Bender.